Hello and welcome to another episode of your weekly program, Open Talk. On this episode of our program, our topic of discussion is how 18 years ago a young man attempted to create a film industry in Bahrain, and of course 18 years later he has proved to be successful. On this episode of our program, my guest is Bahraini film director Mr. Bassam Al Thawadi. Bassam, first of all, I'd like to welcome you on our program, and I hope that we will shed light on many phases of your life, starting from your childhood until how today you have become the only Bahraini man who has created a film industry in Bahrain and has exerted utmost effort into bringing up Bahrain's name into international festivals and events. And of course, I'd like to congratulate you for the latest award you have been awarded in Abu Dhabi Circle Conference, and congratulations for that.
Thank you, Ahdya, and thank you for having me again in your program. And it's the first.
Thank
Beautiful, you. Looks nice, very cozy.
We're glad to have you here, and I hope that you will enjoy the next 50 minutes that we'll have together.
Thank you, usually with you always, because you know something, I always feel happy when you call and you say there is an interview, because I feel, first of all, it's not a matter, I know you for that long, but it's because you supported us from the beginning in creating the film industry. You were with us, you were a journalist at that time, I think, and all our news in the newspaper, and you stood by us. And I really appreciate what you have done all these years for us.
Well, I'm glad to hear that from someone like you, someone who has really worked hard, someone who the moment I walk into the movie theaters, I see his name on a Bahraini movie. And I think it takes a lot of dreams to come true. It takes a lot of effort to be exerted to make it come true. And that's why we want to start from zero, from scratch. I want to go back to Bassam, the child. Yeah. I want to know, did Bassam, the child, expect that one day he will become a film director, that one day he will establish a film industry in Bahrain?
No, it didn't cross my mind even. At that time, when I was a kid, you won't believe it, I was thinking of, first of all, to be a truck driver. I don't know why at that
Why
time.
A truck driver?
I don't know, because my father, I think he brought me this truck and I love it. So I said, I thought I'll be a truck driver.
Okay.
And our neighbor, he used to be a truck driver, so I thought to be like him. He was very strong, and he's handling things, and I thought I'll be like that. Mm-hmm. Then I decided I wanted to be a doctor, then after that an engineer, after that a captain, a pilot, which you know, you're like your husband. At least he made part of my dream come true.
He's your friend, of course.
And until one day, my father, he loves photography, and he used to take pictures all over, everywhere we go. Like me, my mother, and at that time I was with my only brother and sister. We used to go outside. We have all these for maybe 4 or 5 years registered. It was recorded through his camera. So I loved the camera. I loved one thing, the camera, that it capture a moment and keep it, and it lives for a very long time. From there I start loving the lenses, the camera, how can I capture the moment. And of course that drove me to search. Of course I start with the comic books. And my father, actually, he is the one who encourages me to read a lot and go through comics books. But my mother as well, she has a big role in this, because she took me to a place where her friends is, in Saudi Arabia. At that time we used to live in Saudi Arabia. For 10 years I was there. It is a long time. I studied there, and you won't believe it, I studied English. My teacher was ladies, and my mother, one day she took me to her friend's house, and there they were showing a 16mm for an old Arabic movie. So it was my first time seeing a movie on screen.
Do you remember the movie?
Yes, I remember. I don't
It
know
was
if they
Egyptian,
know.
probably.
Egyptian film, yeah.
Okay.
And everybody was laughing, and I was so excited for this huge silver picture moving in front of me. And I said, I'd love to meet these people.
Meet them?
Yeah, I want to meet them.
How old were you at that time?
At that time, maybe 7, 8, 9 years, something.
Very young.
Yeah.
Child.
And I wanted to meet the people. I didn't know that I want to do a movie. I didn't think about that. But these people on a big screen, I want to see them. And it was in my mind until we came to Bahrain, and I went to a movie with my father and mother here in Bahrain. And after we finished, I ran behind the theater. I thought they will come out, all the actors.
After they finished acting, you wish.
Yeah, I thought they will come out, and I'm gonna see them.
Okay.
Now. From there, this curiosity, you know, of how these things move in front of you, how these people, they are acting, and why are they doing this? All these questions are in my mind. I don't know why. And my father felt that. And he surprised me once, because I used to have this camera. It was, you can buy it for 500 fils at that time, and with 126 film, the size of the film, I still remember that. And he brought me the magic lamp, they call it.
Mm-hmm.
The magic lamp, it's a small projector, plastic projector, with slides, and you move. It's a story, and you have, every time you see it on the wall, you see one slide says so and so. It's like a comic, but on screen. From there, I wanted more and more and more. And
so he saw in you a future director. He saw some potential.
He felt that because he loved the camera, and he felt I'm the only one who's loving what he's doing,
not?
you know?
Yeah.
And appreciate what he's doing. So that's why he encourages me. And he started, and I didn't know that something is being building up inside
you.
So then I decided to buy a real projector, not a camera, a projector, to show films in the neighborhood, and I take money for that. So I bought this projector. It was for 6 dinars at that time, and I don't have the 6 dinars, and I can't tell my father that I want this projector. And I feel sorry for what I've done, because I sold all my comic books for 6 dinars, and it was hundreds of them.
Wow.
And in 1975, I worked in the Ministry of Interior during summer, of course, as an office boy, as you know. And there was this ad saying, if you buy a car, with the car they will give you an 8mm camera and a projector and a screen.
Okay.
So one of the employees, he bought this car, and he got the camera and everything, but he doesn't know what to do with them.
And you know what to do with it.
So I told him I'll buy them.
Okay.
And he sold them to me for 60 dinars at that time, all of it.
It was a lot of money.
Yeah, I had to work 2 months to
just to pay for the camera.
to pay for that. And I did my first movie with that camera.
Did you?
Yeah, we did. I did a movie about the drugs. At that time,
like a documentary or something?
Yeah, of course. No. It was
a movie.
Yeah, it's a movie. And maybe I have part of it, so I can give it to you, so you can go through, you can put it in the program. I have some rushes. So at that time, because we used to watch American movies and Indian movies most of the time. So I made this film, Loyalty, it's called, and it is about drugs. It was silent movie. And I was searching for actors. There was no actors. So I found these Thai people. Before in Bahrain, there's a lot of Thai people here.
Really?
They used to work in restaurants and hotels maybe, or So I asked them, and they acted with me.
Wow.
Of course. For me, Israel. He's the one. After that, he my in his first movie in his establishment, so I did, and I showed my father. So after all this, I showed him, told him, I have something I want you to see. So I showed him the movie. He saw the film.
Loyalty.
Yeah, and he was so impressed that I made that. But he asked me something I didn't understand at that time. He said, think about the country. At that time, at that age, I didn't...
On that level, country.
Think about the country. Okay, and I went. I was very excited and happy, so I took the projector, I took the film. I went, we used to live in Isa Town at that time. So I went all to the neighborhoods around us and showed the film outside, you know. I went to each house, take, you know, electricity from them and show the movie to the people. And from there it started, the second one, the third one, until 78, where I went to Cairo to study cinema, production and direction in Cairo. From there, things
started moving.
Started to change, actually. I thought, to be honest, cinema is fun. When you create something, it's really fun, creating things. But I thought it was my fun, and I'm alone, you know, because I have the camera, I have the films, I'm spending money, it's little money, but I'm that films, and I'm creating something, and I was happy with that. When I went and I studied, it doesn't work like that. It's a huge industry. There must be an editor, there must be a director of photography, there must be a script writer, there must be so many people have to be involved when you start doing something. So I start to know. Then I start to realize that it is not that easy. The easy way that I made my movies before, it's not that easy again. So now I start to concentrate on my father's word. Think about the country. What shall I do now to think about the country? Yes, I need to do something about the country. If you want to do something about the country, a lot of ministries, a lot of individuals, they have to be involved with you. From there, I start to take it seriously, and it's not just fun. It is fun until today, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just now, before I come here, I was going through a book, which I'm gonna do soon, and it is fun creating things from these words, you know.
Are you going to give us any details about that?
Maybe
a little bit
later on. Still, it's in this program. Actually, and I met these producers from all around the world, and when we spoke about my project, about this, they were very interested, and they thought this will be something different.
I'm sure
for the Gulf and for the Middle East at all. I mean, they did something similar, before, because actually it is about character here in Bahrain. And always this question, everybody who I spoke to about the project, this question jumps. Are you doing about the character or about Bahrain?
About a phase in Bahrain's history or something?
No, it's, well, actually, if you are handling this character, you have to go through Bahrain. But I always answer, I told them there is two kinds of films. When you make a biography movie about a person, there is two kinds of movie. There is Gandhi and there is Omar al-Mukhtar. Omar al-Mukhtar, when you see it, I'm sure you watched it, it is about Omar al-Mukhtar. It's not about Libya.
It's not about,
It's not about the Italians only.
But
it's about Omar al-Mukhtar.
Yes.
But when you see Gandhi is about whole India. What happened in India?
The revolution, yeah.
Yeah, but you see everything through this man.
Yes.
So it is a history at the same time. It's a biography. It is both.
So your next movie will be a combination?
So I'm thinking about the same thing to Gandhi, about this, what I'm planning to do, and I'm trying to raise a budget for that.
So you still want to leave the element of surprise and not give us details about this movie, and of course I do understand.
Yeah, just give it a little bit.
Of course. I want to go back to the phase of your life when you were in Egypt, Bassam. This is the capital of art and culture, and you spent a few years of your educational life there.
Yeah.
Were you influenced by certain people, by the theater, by the movie industry? What were you mostly influenced by?
Well, from the beginning, I mean, before we go even to Egypt, the Egyptian movies was, of course, something for us. I mean, even the directors, we used to know them. But when I studied, I thought I'm going to search for them. When I go there, I want to see them, and I want to experience their influence on me, and how, I was lucky. Most of them were my teachers at that time. So like Yusuf Shaheen, he's the most famous Egyptian director, Salah Abu Saif, and Hussein Fahmy is as an actor and director. He studied directing before being an actor. So all of them, they are my teachers, and I was really happy. But to be honest, there is I don't know if you're gonna know this name. His name is Mahmoud Mursi. He's an actor. He's not making a film. He's the one really who taught me. First of all, he was very aggressive when he met me. He said, and this same thing, he asked me a question, same as my father did. He said, why do you want to take cinema to Bahrain? And from Cairo, I study and take it to Bahrain. So I didn't know how to answer that. I said, I love cinema.
I like it, yeah.
And I want to do it there. He said, you'll regret it.
Why?
I didn't understand that at that time. And he continued. Then, through the year, we got to know, we knew each other, and we start, chatting. So I asked him. He told me, when you think about movies, do you think you're gonna make a film, just make a film? I told him, well, yes. When I'm ready, I'll make a film. He said, no, it's not making a film. It's a whole industry, it's a whole society, it's a different society from your society. You will create a different society. There is actors, there is actresses, and there is a different thing. It's something you are not used to. And most of it, it's not clean. So you'll create something, it's not that good. You have to be aware of what you're doing. So I told him, okay, what shall I do to nice and clean? And he said, you have to read. you have to know what Fellini did in Italy, what Trevor did in France, what Godard did in France, what John Ford did in America. See why they are doing films. There is a purpose to make a movie. It's not a matter of just fun. It is part of it, fun, but it is an art. Why are you making this movie? There must be a purpose. Do you want your people in Bahrain to get use of this movie? Do you want them to see their problems? Do you want them to see something rubbish and have fun and laugh and go? What do you want exactly? There must be a reason for making films. So when you come and you're fresh, for me, you know, you're still a kid. You don't understand how big it is, and it needs a lot. He told me that's why you start studying psychology, philosophy, and language and everything. Why do you think you are studying these? To understand why do you have to make a film. It's not only making a film. Maybe you'll be a very good director. You know how to put your camera. You know how to take your angles. You know how to do all the management things before starting shooting, all the production things. But you don't know why are you doing this. There is a meaning inside it. You have to understand that before you start any movie.
How many years later did you understand it?
No, through the progress of studying the 4 years. I start to understand that. That's why my first movie was different. That's when I made it. I said I want to talk about the people. I do want to do something. They go and they forget it after a while, and they, you know, will create a different kind of society in understanding films. So I want to do, although all the influence of these Indian movies and Egyptian films and everything are there on the Bahrainis at that time. So I said, let me do something, let me touch them. Let me do something different. That's why Amin Saleh thought about this movie, The Barrier, and I agree with what he thought, and we started doing that. It was a bit different, and everybody asked us, why? Why do you want, even the critiques around the world, I mean, from France, from England, from the Arab world, they said, why you start like this? I told them, I don't know, I just felt I want to do this. I want to touch the people, and I want to talk about them. So they said, but this is difficult. How are you going to carry on? I mean, you need money to go on, and this won't bring you money. So, well, that's, yeah, I'll start.
I want to do it.
I want to do it this way.
And you did it.
Yeah, I did it, and actually, still I want to do it, and I love to do it, because I face one thing. It's not a matter of making film. I discovered that in Bahrain we have a history, a huge history. The social, political, all these things nobody knows. I mean, by the time everybody will forget it. It will go on. You know, the new generation comes, they don't talk about it anymore. So why don't I just put this as a mission for me? And each film I want to make, I want to capture a part of the history of my country and put it on a big screen. Of course, I'm aiming on outside. It's not Bahrain. Bahrain knows that. And it's nice to be done, but I'm aiming on festivals. When I go around the world with my movies to film festivals, this is something. The other thing, on distributing it outside and show it to the public in America or Europe or Far East. So I'm aiming on that. I want people to know that we are related. Like I was talking to this producer. Her name is very famous producer. She produced most of the Spielberg films, Steven Spielberg, and George Lucas and Coppola. And I told her, you won't believe it. There were 3 guys from Bahrain, late 50s. They went to United States and they stayed there. They studied. And one of them, he fought in Vietnam. And the second one, he was a doctor. And he was one of the doctors, the committee, committee was You know, the Kennedy's association, that he was one of the doctors, a Bahraini guy. And the third one who was in love with one of the American president's daughter. So all these three, they have something, and they went to the United States at that time.
And there is a story behind it.
And there is a story behind them. We are linked, but nobody knows. Nobody knows that we are part of this world. Nobody knows that. They know Bahrain as a country in the Gulf. They have oil, rich people. You know, this is the image that what they know about the Gulf. But they don't know that we are part of this world. So that's why I want to bring all these parts, all these stories, and show it to the people, telling them that we are linked. We are not because of the oil, not because of a rich country. No, this country has been through like any other big countries. And I want to show that.
But Bassam, why do I have a feeling that now you're the only one who's directing movies now? This is a fact now. God gives you a long life, inshallah, hopefully, okay? But there is no other generation created, you know?
Yeah.
You belong to a certain generation, but
Exactly.
do we have any one Bahraini youth today who's trying to make a movie and you feel, I see myself in him 20 years ago?
To be honest, yes, there is.
There are people, really. You see potential.
Not only potential, no, they work with me as assistants. And now from the university, there is a lot who wants to make something. And we discover when there is a film festival in the Gulf, a lot of films from Bahrain are going there. And some of them, all they need is directions. They are good. I mean, they have something. Maybe they don't know the way exactly like me in the beginning, but they will know the way. There is. I'm relaxed from this side because now I'm producing a movie for 3 young directors, a feature film. I want all of them to work on it, and I'll be with them, of course, and we'll help them. But I believe there is. It is a bit late, but after all this time, you know, from teaching, from new no, because nobody thought about it from the beginning. I mean, it should be from at least, I'm not saying 50s, 40s, 30s. I'm talking about at least 70s. When the movement started making films in the 70s, the government should do something about that. Especially Minister of Information. It was new at that time. They should send people to study this and start making films. At that time, they used to bring people from outside to make their documentary films or the films about the country or whatever. They didn't think of creating a new, let's say, an infrastructure, a new infrastructure that can make this. This is. I don't want to go through it now. I mean, okay, we've been
the damage is done and we recovered.
It's done already. Instead of talking about it, let's do something. So now I'm doing this. I'm encouraging people to understand to do, and I feel I'm doing well, actually. And most of my friends, like writers, and they are helping in this field.
What difficulties did you face during the past 18 years when you were producing your 3 movies, when you were directing them? Were there any financial circumstances, obstacles on your way?
Well, it's an old broken record. It is the financial part. Everybody is saying financial part. Today, I'm not talking about this. It's bigger now than that. Okay, the infrastructure, we don't have it. We'll try. Now they're trying Dubai to do an infrastructure. They brought this Manhattan Academy to teach production, TV, cinema, and everything. Same thing, Abu Dhabi is doing the same thing with the New York Academy. In Bahrain, we are trying. We want to do the same thing now through a new project. There is some investors, they want to do it, the Bahraini investors. And Well, I hope it works. And the other thing is now the new generation, like I said, it's important, but this is not the problem. Not the financial part is the problem. My problem is distribution.
Mm.
You know, because Bahrain, we don't have, you know, what's the capacity of people? Of 600,000, something like that.
Mm.
And the whole 35 million, 25, forget about them because it's in Saudi Arabia. So there is no theaters, I can't distribute them.
Mm.
So I have 10 millions. These 10 millions, suppose I made a movie and we put it in all around the Gulf. How many theaters? Around 8 theaters maximum, because each country will put it in one theater. They can't put it in all theaters. So around 8 from 200 person, you know, the capacity of the theaters now, maximum maybe 200. Even if this film stays full for 6 months, you won't get your money back.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to think in a different way. I want to distribute my films in the Arab world. Okay, this is in progress and it's moving a little bit. But I need Europe, I need America. In America, they have around, let's say, 45,000 theater. I need 50.
More than enough.
20 it will work, you know, there.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most important thing, distribution.
Bassam, I want to ask you a question, and I was thinking of how to put it, but I think the best way to put it is in the most simplest manner. Let's say you're at home and you want to play one of your tapes or the movies that you have directed. 18 years ago, it was Al-Hajiz, The Barrier. And years later, you directed The Visitor. And of course, very recently, it was The Bahraini Story.
A Bahraini Tale.
A Bahraini Tale.
Yeah.
And I personally heard too many compliments and praise about A Bahraini Tale.
Yes. Yeah.
And I want to know, what is your reaction when you sit and watch these movies? Do you look at yourself, your performance different than it was 18 years ago? And which of your own works are you most proud of?
Let me take from the end, I'll answer. First of all, I'm proud of all my work. I love it. I mean, The Barrier 18 years ago, I was, at that time, that was my knowledge and that was I love it. I don't listen to anybody who criticized my film at that time. I don't like to listen because it was my first baby and I love it and I don't want anybody to touch it.
You need to be encouraged and supported,
yeah.
Yes.
And after watching the movie for a long time, you know, after 10 years, I said, yes, they were right about this point. They were right about that point. I need to cut it, and instead of 2 hours, it should be 1 hour and a half. So I need to remove a half an hour from the movie, and I did it. But took me time. Took me 10 years. You know. The second one, it was an experience. I'd love to try it.
Having the
Everybody. Table. And everything. So what I did, thank you. The paper was back again. So what I did, I just grabbed the paper and look and say, thank you.
I would have left the house at that moment.
No, I felt it's something peaceful. I didn't feel
Threatened
bad,
or-
and no, because I've been through an experience before in my previous flat before, and we used to do, we bring this Ouija board and we bring souls and all these things. We used to play. It was a game. But and this lady who used to do this, he told me, don't do it in your flat. I said, please, please, I'd love to try it. It's something, and I want to see it. And it happened, but after that I couldn't live. I feel there's something bad. I can't sleep, and the light's always on because I feel I'm scared. My heart is beating all the time when I enter the flat.
Well, you felt some
I
presence?
felt something bad in the house. I don't feel I'm okay. I don't feel my mood is not okay. So that experience, to be honest, it was, my mother, my family, they come to the house, they bring this guy to read inside the house, and then after that I felt it's okay.
But you didn't see anything in particular?
No, I didn't. But to be honest, in this house where the paper is and disappear came, I felt relaxed, and sometimes I feel something, but I feel okay.
No,
They're
nothing
good.
is harming you.
Yeah, they're good. From here, the idea came to me and Farid Ramal. I told him about the story, and he said, let's make a movie about this. I said,
That's
okay.
challenging.
And we did it. And we start creating, of course, a story. I can't, hold a ghost and ask him about something.
Interview him.
So we made this story, and it was Visitor, and it worked. But after that, Visitor for me, it was an experience. How it was a different line, the line that I want to do, it's different. So when I sat and talk about it, I know what's missing. When you do a thriller, the technique is missing. You need, of course, you need graphics, you need companies to do graphics for you, you need a budget, you need so many things. It's not that easy. So I know where the holes in that movie. So I should do this better, and I should do that. And that's after a month. I start criticizing my movie, and I start knowing. I said I can make it better, and and it went very well. Actually,
It
the
went
people
on
love
very
it,
well.
and,
It was different, and
Yeah.
people spoke highly about it.
Yes,
And
but when we did a Bahraini tale, no, this one we worked 6 months before. I brought crew from New York, from India. I did the sound in Athens. It was all. I was surrounded by professionals in this industry.
And
So-
the result was seen, of course.
And and it was different. And actually, it will be shown after a few days in San Francisco. So it is moving, that movie, and it's moving very well. Of course, when I look at it, there is something, I feel. But at the end, all of them, my babies. I love my babies. Ugly, beautiful, I don't care. I love them. And it's very nice that I've done, and I'm learning. I have to learn. Usually in the cinema, you have to keep learning, and the progress of doing movies. Need to learn, need to read more, be in touch with people more. So that's what I'm learning from my movies.
What was the happiest moment in the life of Bassam Al Thawadi as a film director? The happiest moment.
Getting married to Dunya, to my wife.
See, I said as a film director, and you related it to Dunya too. So it shows that Dunya played a very important role in your life.
Yeah, she did. Actually, no, the happiest moment showing my film, The Barrier, the first show. I was a little bit threatened, but I was so happy that I'm gonna show my movie.
I've done something.
And I thought I'm gonna rule the world with that movie. I was so high. With this atmosphere, the films, and my movie, and all these people. I remember at that time so many ministers coming, and all the audience, and everybody is
It's your
there
day.
because for my movie, that was something really. Then after that, when it happened, it was normal, but I loved that. That was really something different.
And you know what I liked? When I asked you what was the happiest moment of your life, you came up with Dunya's name, your wife and your life partner. And I always feel when men attribute their success, the success they have in their lives to their partners, that's the biggest appreciation that you can show any person. And it reflects on who you really are. Bassam, you, off the record, before recording, we were having a side chat about the first love that you had in your life. Where does love stand in your life? Share with our viewers the story of the first love when you were 7 years old.
At 7 years old, I don't know. I think, to be honest, I think the relationship between mom and dad at that time, because I see them, you know, hugging each other, you know, kissing each other, running around us, and there was love all over. So I think I got that from them. I wanted the same life. I wanted the same thing. But I was a little bit rushy, you know, I was rushing to
get everything.
So, she for me. And the media. Yeah, I mean, at that time, but I'm in love.
Yeah.
So I went back home and I grabbed plastic flower and see.
Plastic.
I didn't go with empty-handed.
You were not classy anyway, with plastic, okay, fine.
And then I went to her house and knocked the door, I didn't say a word, I just gave her the flower. And she hugged me, she kissed me, which was wow, that was something. And I came back home. I can't forget it. You won't believe, until today, I still remember the way I walked in. I still remember the door. I still remember the flower. I still remember her, but not her face. I don't remember her face anymore. But I remember the way she stood, the way this one. From there, I think love is very important. Now, even for our characters, any person who works in the media field, when you work in a creativity field, let's say, your personality is different. You're not that easy. You're not that person who just easygoing. It's not like that. It's difficult. You have moods. Sometimes you're happy. Sometimes you're crying. Sometimes you're angry. And sometimes you need somebody who understands that. And somebody who understands that you don't mean him. It got nothing to do with that. He have to bear with you and understand these moments, you know. And it's colorful moments. It's not that. That's why the thing is, I've been in love, and I've been in love, and I've been in love a lot. To be honest, most of them, they understood that. But the conclusion is Dunya, when she came, no, I discovered, no, there is another way of understanding. She
there
not
is a bigger love.
Yeah. She knows why are you like this, not because you are united. She doesn't understand that. She understands you as a human. She understands Bassam. She knows, and that was that I don't understand it myself. She can understand it. There comes the love. I feel this is different. That's why I appreciate that. I can't. I mean, it's the most important things to me to go on. Without that, I can't.
Well, Bassam, I'm sure that women and men who are watching this episode of our program now, women would be telling their husbands, listen to how much he loves his wife, listen to how much he appreciates her.
But this depends on the woman herself, you know?
Of course.
She has to be like Dunya as well.
So now you just proved that you are still a man.
No, I mean, all of us, we think, and this is our work in the movies or in the media, sometimes when you do a love story, everybody loves that story. And they say, this man, look at this man, why don't you be like this man? But at the same time, they don't ask themselves, can you be like Juliet?
Yeah.
You want him to be like Romeo, but can you be like Juliet? You have to be like Juliet, so he can be like Romeo. But it's enjoyment and it's fun. People do that, and this is our job. You know, just changing the feelings, which is the Indians is really they are very good in it. See the power. You go, you watch a movie, you cry, you laugh, you get angry, and you feel sad. You know, all these. In one movie, you play which kind of power that you play in the audience emotion in 3 minutes, in 3 hours. You play, you change their emotion every step.
Up and down.
This is a power.
I don't mean to change your emotions, and I don't mean to create a negative environment now, Bassam. But since we did speak about the happiest moments in your life, was there a moment in your life that you can refer to as the saddest moment?
The saddest moment. Oh, this is to be honest, I don't like to see my mother crying. I really feel I want, you know, just to disappear from this world because I don't want to see her tears. And the same thing happened now with my wife. My problem is her tears, not because she's not using. I mean, I know who's using, but I mean, for anything from outside, anything. The tears is for me. So only, you know, it starts with my mother. This is, you know, when I saw her once, and she was in need of something, and she was crying, and I couldn't do anything. I felt really I don't deserve to live, and I can't forget it until today. Other things, sad, it's okay. Sadness is all right. I had to go through it, and it is normal. But not my mother or my wife or anybody who's close. I don't like to see tears, to be honest, and I can't do anything about it. This is really like they trust you and you can't do something.
So if an actress walks into your office and she has tears in her eyes and she's a bad actress and she wants a role on your movie, would you give it to her?
No, I throw her out. I mean, that's a different thing, different issue.
Bassam, is there a final word you would like to share with your viewers on this episode of our program?
No, the only thing I said, you know, always cinema wants everything, and I can give what I have, and I can try to protect the history. So, if there is a way to protect this history through movies or through any medium in the media, I think this is the only thing I'm going to do it. I know even if it's going to take everything, but I'll do it. And the other thing is, thank you very much for your program, for your time. It was really nice. And again, I want to say thank you because I didn't say thank you to you all these years we've been together, you know, you and your family, and supporting us. And I didn't say thank you to you properly. Really, thank you for everything you have done for us, for the cinema in Bahrain, actually.
Bassam, I appreciate your words. I have always valued knowing someone like you. I've valued our friendship, our work relationship, and I have learned a lot from you. I have basically learned something that when you want something in life, you can get it, but it all depends on the efforts you exert into it. You have to really earn it, and you have earned the success that you have today. Congratulations for that.
Thank you very much, Ahdya.
Thank you. I'd like to remind our viewers that my guest on this episode of our program was, one day he was a young man who exerted an effort into creating a film industry in Bahrain. Today, Bahrain, and best of luck. His the best of for all Bahrain, and we all wish him the best of luck, and we hope that the next time we meet again, hopefully very soon. Well, he left the element of surprise, but I hope that the next time we meet with him, we will discuss his next movie, and of course, the team of our program wishes him the best of luck with that. Until we join you next week on another episode of Open Talk, thank you very much for joining us.